Hello, everybody. My name is Dana Lepofsky, and I'm really privileged today to be able to talk to you about a project that we've been working on for about the past 7 years, led by Gitga'at Nation up in northern British Columbia. And in particular, we're going to share with you a bit about this place that we've been privileged to work called Laxgalts'ap. It's a watershed that has huge cultural importance to the Gitga'at in deep time and in today. And we were lucky enough to be, thanks to MEOPAR, developing a website and an app that brings forward all this knowledge about this place and this connection to this place. I'm presenting on behalf of my collaborators, Spencer and Bryn and Mark, as well as the Gitga'at community, who very much have led this initiative from the get-go. I'm personally calling in from Hoyate or Laxgalts'ap Island in the Salish Sea, right near Vancouver. And you can see it's a long way from Laxgalts'ap. Hoyate is in the traditional territory of the Coast Salish. And it's really, I think, important to take a moment to acknowledge what that means. And hopefully that'll come kind of clear when in the next 5 minutes we're together and we look at Laxgalts'ap about those deep time connections that are embedded in people's connection to place and identity and heritage, where they're all kind of interlinked through time and space. And hopefully that's kind of what we can bring out in Laxgalts'ap, these connections, these multidimensional connections around people and place, and how important it is to recognize today. I also want to recognize MEOPAR for creating the Knowledge Mobilization Funds, because I think it reflects people's recognition that it's important that we share our knowledge, not just to other scientists, but broadly to all communities. And perhaps more importantly, that our work always needs to be relevant to and grounded in the local communities where we're working. So a little bit about the project and the website and app that goes with it. We brought together over the past 7 years many kinds of knowledges and data, archaeology, memories, archival information, and so on. This gives you just a glimpse of some of the many things that we've been doing. But the idea is that we can fluidly integrate those different kinds of knowledges in a website. It's not like a paper where you have a start to finish, but you can access these stories and fluidly across space, as you will see. And we're presenting it in diverse forms, from a mobile app and all the way to a desktop, because we recognize there are different ways of experiencing the digital world, and we want to make this as accessible to as many people and many generations as possible. We have various kinds of tabs, if you will, that kind of direct people to themes that have emerged through the scientific research and through the interviews with the community members, like language is a major theme, place names is another theme, as you will see. Where people can kind of go scrolling down a particular path, and if they're interested in language or whatever it is, and in here kind of get a fully kind of immersive experience about what we know about that particular theme. But because this project is really place-based, of course, a map is really important. So the user will have a chance to zoom in on the entire watershed. You can see what the watershed looks like today. It's this beautiful meandering river with this beautiful estuary. And each of those dots represent a knowledge point, where we have archaeology or ecology or oral traditions or place name knowledge. And so the user can click on any of these places and get more and more specific, like clicking on what's called Man-Made Island or Gitga'at. And that place, you can visit it virtually by getting kind of some drone photography. You can hear archaeologists or the people in the nation talk about some of the artifacts that were taken in the 50s and during the excavations, and now been brought back to the nation, and kind of the oral traditions or the importance of this place in many, many dimensions. I mentioned the importance of place names. We have something almost like 50 place names recorded for Laxgalts'ap. You can click on each of these and hear the name of the place, learn about the oral tradition associated with it, and also how the origins of the particular parts of the word, and hear people talk about those particular places and memories they have associated with it. A hugely, hugely rich source of knowledge about people's deep time connection to place. Also, if we're documenting the deep time connection to place, is of course archaeology and this relationship to landscape change. So Bryn Letham, one of our collaborators, kind of took the lead at documenting the sea level history of the watershed and found out that 14,000 years ago, at the end of the Pleistocene, in fact, the watershed, which is now this meandering river, was actually an inlet. And when sea level was 90 meters higher, and we have no evidence of people until sea level dropped around 11,500 years ago. We have our first archaeological evidence. And then the evidence continues through time with more and more sites until the last 2,000 years. We have sites everywhere. And the user, again, would be able to click on each of these and hear archaeologists or hear one of the elders talk about these places or hear about its place name or whatever it is. Because everywhere in the landscape has a story to tell. This is just an example of a fish trap, a wooden fish trap is 2,000 years old, but everywhere. And for all these places, again, people can also get what we call a virtual tour. So they can actually experience themselves. They can take the mouse and do a 360 around. They can go from this place of the divide, hugely important place in terms of oral traditions and archaeology, and then go to another place on the landscape and another place on the landscape, getting this kind of immersive experience of the place. So why do this at all? Well, there's lots of reasons why. These are just some of them, because I think documenting this really deep history for diverse communities is important, because it just educates about kind of what it means to be connected to place and really celebrates that connection. It also encourages intergenerational knowledge sharing. We have elders and youth kind of talking about Laxgalts'ap around a website. How cool is that? Furthermore, this project provides a living archives. It's all based on a database that we developed for this project, and people can add to it, alter it, use it in whatever kind of needs they have in the community, and really just more broadly to support Indigenous sovereignty, to manage their territories the way that they want and have done for generations. And part of that, since we're talking to a MEOPAR audience, is to remember that part of that is managing the marine landscape, because there's a huge amount of marine knowledge embedded as well in the Gitga'at connection to this incredible place. Thank you very much.